Up on a mountain 3 meals a day, breakfast, lunch and dinner, and it's on a comfortable tent. Speaking of how, where are you going to climb the mountain? You're crossing 5 different zones, and this is a rainforest. You can look at the path, it's very well made. You don't need to have any special gear. In some areas they have improvised bridges to make it possible or to make it passable. And you're going to go through Heather Zone, Moorland Zone, Alpine Zone, and Arctic Zone. And these are all different zones you're going to go through when you're climbing Kilimanjaro. When I say someone needs to be at least in a reasonable shape to be able to climb this kind of a mountain or to do such activity, you all see this terrain here. It's kind of a boulder and uneven terrain. So a little bit of training and know how to position your feet, it makes it add a lot of comfort when you're doing things like this. Hence, at the end of the day, you'll be sitting around the table with your friends, laughing, share all the ideas and memory of what happened on that day. There are activities you can do in Kilimanjaro, or things you can see along the way. You can look at the birds, animals, you can look at the flowers. You can have sunset, beautiful sunset, because you're standing on a very high, and you're overlooking another mountains. You're looking on quite a distance from the mountain. Views during the night, they're spectacular. So if you're a photographer, if you like to take photographs and enjoy this spectacular view, you can do trips like coming to Kilimanjaro and you have all of these. Talking about photographing, playing with your camera, you know how to use a camera, and you can do amazing things like this. And this picture was taken from 11,500 feet, which is on another camp before you reach to the top. Or picture like that, that's called Lava Tower, with few people who wants to do more of a hard way or technical way. You can scale on that kind of a tower using your hands and feet, or you can do a freestyle climbing on a few of these icons on Kilimanjaro. So where is the biggest challenge? The biggest challenge to climb the mountain is anywhere, but the very, very difficult is to go to the summit. And that's when people ask, so what's a day like to go to the summit? And people think they're gonna be rocks to climb, they're going to be very steep slope, and of course you're gaining elevation at least 3,000 or 4,000 to go up. But you can, as you look on this picture, they're all dressed up as they're going out skiing with the trekking poles. However, you can look at everyone is looking down because they're trying to contemplate about life and things that how they go through. It's not about being tortured, it's about being you, part of the group, and then enjoy that moment and measure to reach this, to the very top, and know that you have beat the altitude, you have beat all the difficult, and you survive all the challenges. And here you're standing on the very top, highest mountain in Africa, which many people, or most people, could not do it or cannot do it, and it's all your effort. And it's not because of someone else. Of course you get an aid or an assistance from the boat and the guide, but they don't do much. It's you and your mind and your mental stuff that's how will get you to the top. When you get to the very top, you have a chance to see these amazing views of glaciers, some of them melting at a very high speed. As you can see in this picture, these broken pieces here, they used to be as big as this one, and now they're just as small as that one, and that's what you can see up there. And that's just no small one. On the other side of the mountain, there are even bigger one where you can look at them. And then some of the trip we organize, you can stay at this level here, which is called crater, 18,800 feet. It's a very challenging kind of activity to do out there, but it's one for some people who wants to see, okay, what next? What can I do? What's my limitation? Can I survive these kind of things? I mean, it's a human nature to do things that they want to make sure their brain works on and on and on and on and on. Talking about glacier melting, from 1912 to date, Kilimanjaro has lost more of its 80% of the glacier on the mountain. And it's really going very fast. When I started climbing the mountain in 1999, to date, I've seen, I used to see some of the glaciers, and now they're no longer there, and it's because they're already melted. And every day you go, you see different formation and different structure on the mountain, and it's because of this water running down and because of the glacier melting. Speaking of the crater camp, you can have a view of that, such a view from the camp as you're overlooking on the other side of the mountain, and it's just an amazing moment that you can take pictures and enjoy your expedition along the way. And when you get to the very top, you can celebrate in a way you wish, in a way you want, and it's because it's all mental, internal, and you can tell anyone what it takes for you to climb the mountain. And these guys, they decided, okay, we're gonna pop up the champagne, which ended up freezing before it went down. And that's during rain season, where usually this place will be covered in snow, or sometimes it's completely as the soil you can see there. And then, but you have to go down. So people ask me, which is the most difficult? And I tell them, it's not about going up, it's about going down, because up there, that's halfway home. So you gotta get down, and you're no longer motivated. So that's like you getting a job. It's sometimes hard to get a job, but it's very hard, very, very hard to maintain a job, and that's like how you climb the mountain. So I'm not by myself. One of those days, the pictures taken, it's not a very good day. You have a blizzard flying, and people want to continue. They don't give up. You don't show them any sign of giving up. You continue. Sometimes end up with the icicle. Well, some good days you're laughing, and these are the guys we have there. They're all trained guide. They know about first aid. They know how to take care of the people. They know about customer service, and they'll know how to treat and they read signs and symptoms from looking at people when they do climbing, and they'll be there to tell you, excuse me sir, excuse me ma'am, I think you have to go home, or I think we need to look at you, we need to discuss this, and they'll be out there to help you with everything, to make sure you're not doing any crazy idea that, oh, I want to carry on because I put a lot of time, I put a lot of money, and I can't give up. Or when I go back home, my friends will laugh at me, because it's not about people laughing at you, it's about you conquering it and not conquering it. It's that you succeeding and successful, reaching at the top and coming back home safe. And these guys, that's what they do there. Yeah, so talking about Kilimanjaro, very much, that's it. If you have any question, we're welcome for you to ask. What you can see on Kilimanjaro, that will be most of the pictures you can see out there, and as well we can carry on with questions and answers. Thank you.
Most of the time they summit, you get out late at night, you start at 10 or 11 o'clock, so you summit at sunrise. Why don't they do that during the day and come back down? Why do they always usually do that at night?
Thank you. That used to be a very mystery old situation. Now we don't do that anymore. They used to believe when people, which is more of a human thing, when you look at it during the day, it sounds like it's endless. I don't get there. It's just like it's going to the horizon, it's going to the sky, and you don't get there. So that would have been one reason they didn't do that during the day. Another reason is based on itinerary, which people, they go during the night, come back in the morning, and continue down off the mountain. Now for us, we don't do in the night. We do very early in the morning, so wake up around 4 and then you get breakfast. That way you reach at a very high point where you still warm, because doing it during the night, it's very cold. You're starting midnight, and then the coldest time of the night is 3 to 6 in the morning, and you don't want to go through that throughout the night while you're tired and you miss your sleep. So what we do, you wake up 4 a.m., you start 5 a.m., and then continue on to the summit. So we'll be at the summit the latest midday. The biggest advantage you have by doing, or we have by doing that, is the summit is not crowded by then. Remember, everyone is leaving by night, or most are leaving by night. and then hence when they get to the summit, you only have few people, or just you and your group there. So you have plenty of time of picture instead of scrambling over the other. It's our turn, it's our turn. I'm dying here because some people, they get there, they feel like, oh, this is too much for me, I've worked all night long, I need to get a picture and go home. And they feel they have a right to go before everyone.
So if you come down and after going for the day, come down at Barafo camp and stay there, and then stay there for the night, and then go down the rest of the way?
No, you don't come to stay at Barafo because Barafo is not, is still high and has no water, because Porto will usually bring water from the lower camp for you to use for that particular day. Rather than that, we go down to the mid camp before Mweka camp, which is a millennium camp or high camp. And that way you're still low enough to recover from any altitude issue or the fatigue you had from going through all the several hours to go to the top. Hence you still make to the gate on time to catch your flight back home or hotel or shower. That's an amazing moment when you know everything's completely and you're no longer walking. Yes, ma'am.
Because of the altitude, you have to use supplemental oxygen.
On Kilimanjaro, we do not use supplement oxygen. We only use oxygen for emergence matters, emergence cases. We believe a lot could do without oxygen. It's not such a risk of high altitude for someone to do with oxygen. If someone does with oxygen, we believe that's kind of a cheating. You haven't done very well. Because people have run this mountain up and down without oxygen. People have stayed at the very top of the mountain with oxygen. And yet, 19,000 is not that of a risk for someone to suffer from a lack of oxygen. Of course, things happen, like people suffer, and that's because of altitude. But yet, a lot have gone through, many people have gone and summited the mountain without oxygen. And today, if you say you've gone to the top and summited the mountain with oxygen, that will not bring a happy face to people around and say, oh, that's not okay. And it's a challenge. It's all inside you. You want to do it with you yourself. Of course, you can use Damox as a prophylactic medication. As some people say it works, some people say it doesn't work, some people, they believe it helps them. And that's not called cheating, because Damox doesn't do a big job as oxygen. When you get oxygen, if you're given oxygen to go to the very top, then we can provide if you ask, but we believe it's not the way to do it. Yes, sir. Yes.
What about safety?
So during each and every trip, because all the guys didn't know about safety, what we do, we carry oxygen tanks for emergency. We carry hyperbaric chamber. And we have the pulse oximeter to check heart rates and oxygen level on each particular day before and after you start the trip. So in any emergency case, either you are conscious or you're unconscious, we'll try to make sure everything is taken care of to provide you with oxygen while we are looking at the matter. If it's a case of a very critical matter, then we will lower you or will bring you down as much as possible to where the helipad will be able to land and take off, because helicopters around East Africa, they cannot fly past 12,000 feet. And I mean, fly and land and take off above that elevation. So we'll provide, or we'll make sure that we have taken you down to that level, and helicopter will be provided for you to go home. But this has to be done through with everyone who has insurance before they go on a trip. So, because everyone knows what that helicopter thing can cost.
I was thinking more in terms of rebel reactions.
Sorry, can you come again?
Any issues with tourists being injured by rebels, things of that nature? Because I've had a friend who was there a couple of years ago, and their bus got attacked.
We don't have that now. I mean, with our group, we've never been attacked. And the national park and the security system in Tanzania, they have looked at the matter. Yes, there has been cases like that before, where tourists has been in a bus and then they were stopped and robbed along the way. But on Kilimanjaro, that's not a major case now, because national park has set security guides in each and every camp nowadays, and along the way they usually patrol, police patrol along the way every day when people walk, driving to the gate, to and from the gate. And probably John B has more information from that because he has been on a couple roads when I'm gone in the mountain as well.
Just to add that on the safety part, it's, again, I want to repeat again, when people hear about Africa, it's like, no, it's very scary. These things can happen anywhere. You can be hijacked anywhere in the world. It's not like a common thing that, no, it happens all the time. But more likely now, since our government is trying to promote tourism, once you arrive at the airport, they will have a police patrol vehicles that will go ahead of time along the roads, make sure that nothing suspicious are parked along the road. So when we pick you up from the airport, we go to any location where the lodge has been gazetted that you are staying on that night, and the police are around. So it's safety. Second, we don't have rebels or any tribal conflict. Tanzania has been stable in political for the last 50 years. We have never had any, because again, it's a country that has more than 125 tribes. And again, we live like brothers and sisters. There's a lot of huge intermarriage where there's no one tribe that is one dominate the other one and the other one. So I will say that if there's a case that either your friend has been attacked, that it's probably just a question that would have even happened anywhere, and you cannot control that. I think I get your answer. Yes, madam.
What kind of health issues do we have to deal with as far as in Tanzania with shots and diseases right now?
Thank you for that. More likely when you're coming to Tanzania, let's say you're coming on safari, you only go to your physician, and if you would say that you're going to a particular country like East Africa in general, you'll get the yellow fever shots, and you'll get your malaria tablets, which that's all more likely you need. You don't have any other issues, and I have Dale here Dale and Aaron always put trips together, and if they have any other issue that you normally tell your clients to put on, but otherwise more likely it's only malaria pills and the yellow fever shots.
Yeah, I was just going to say, if you guys have any questions about this is my 14th year of running safaris to Africa, and Wendy's 13th year, something like that. Aaron's sixth year running safaris over there. We do this on a regular basis, and we always say, like Jambi said, consult your local doctor. They'll have a good idea what's going on. Yellow fever is a good thing to do. Malaria, all those type of things are discretional. I never take any malaria stuff myself, but I take that risk because I decide myself what I want to do. And that's not what maybe you want to do. And you might say, I want to take the malaria pill because I just don't want to risk it at that point. So that's between you and your doctor deciding what's the best thing to do for yourself at that point. Some areas have higher risk of malaria than other areas do, and so that's where you kind of make those decisions. Yes, sir?
Just to be helpful too, I know we have an internal medicine doctor, and they basically don't want to make the decision. They tell you to see the health department, Clark County Health Department.
There's a really good travel doctor.
Yeah, there are travel doctors, but see, you got to be careful with the travel doctor. The last travel doctor I went to said, you don't do this, and they had like $7,000 worth of shots for me, and I'm like going, oh, no, wait a second. Don't need all that stuff. So again, it's a personal decision on what you want to do and how you want to do things. Charlie over there and Susan, they've been on safari with us 3 times, and Charlie's a former physician and decides what he wants to do and Susan wants to do, and it could be completely different than what I do because of his experience and what he has. So I would say talk to people you know, people that you feel comfortable with, and talk to your doctor and say, here's where we're going. What do you think is the best thing for me to do at that point? I think you take, for malaria, what do you do? Doxycycline, again, for that. And you have to take before you leave, during the trip, and you have to take after you get back, too. It's a process. It's not just, oh, you know what, I'm going to decide to go on malaria pill and start taking it when you get over there. It's not that way. You got to start before, during, and after for that kind of thing. So, yes?
Are you having any problem with Ebola? Because I know it's over on the west side.
No, we don't have any problems with anything. And this is, we talk about the food thing because people always want to know about food.
Backing back to Ebola, we don't have Ebola in Tanzania.
Yeah, I mean, it's
you just don't.
There's a lot of questions that come up about things like that, and you got to know where you're going in Africa. And again, you know, we have people that go and we're driving in Tanzania and they go, when are we getting to Africa? You said we're in Tanzania. And it's like, okay, we are in Africa, but we're in Tanzania, we're in the country of Tanzania, and that's, you know, where we're at that point. Food becomes one of those things, that's why I wanted Wendy to say something about the food, because people always ask about the food. Is the food safe to eat? Is it something that way? I know John B said we all put on a lot of weight over there, and we do.
Yeah, in all the 14 years we've been doing it, we've never had anybody get sick on a trip or have to go home. The food is delicious. You will get fatter. You're very fat. If you're skinny, you'll look good when you come home. It's good food, catered for even, you know, vegetarian. Any needs that you have, they take care of you. Lots of good food to eat. Healthy, good stuff.
Again, on just to add on the food, all the meals will be served as a continental meal buffet, so this will be more safari. And when you come on the mountain, as I said earlier, it's the food is all fresh and well prepared and professional prepared. We will cater for every food restriction need, from gluten-free, vegetarian. You mentioned it, and it's all taken care of, from the hotel all the way to the mountain. And that's not something one should worry about when it comes on how you want to eat or how you're going to eat when you're on safari or climb the mountain. Yes, Deb?
Let me add something here. I've known Wilfred for over 12 years, and I did the climb Kilimanjaro. The joke here is it's a mental game, because it's not a question of can she do it or he do it. It's quitting is contagious, and if you quit, you take all your stuff and keep on going. Food and safety, that seems to be the two big issues here. One, the food is absolutely amazing. It's good, it's delicious, it's nutritious, they prepare it, and the hygiene that is involved in their preparation is impeccable. You're not going to get foodborne illnesses. What you need to be careful of is water. They will prepare water for you, they boil it, they strain it, they put it through a special type of siphon tube. What you don't do is you don't go and drink water from something in a freestanding source. Okay? You could have that opportunity, but you'll be instructed not to do so. They actually will also, after many, many days of needing a shower or bath, they prepare water for you to bathe, and they take exceptionally good care of you. So from a safety and a protectionist standpoint, they will not let anything happen to their clients. They are very good about watching over you, both from your health needs, your personal needs, and whatever encouragement you need. Remember, the goal here, they will do everything they can for you. They will push, pull, and carry everything of yours up a mountain to 19,000 feet. What they cannot make you do is put one foot in front of the other. That's you. And it's a lot of fun, guys. I've been there.
Thank you. Oh, yes, sir.
Kilimanjaro, how long is that from beginning to end? I mean, you're one camp and you go up to the top, but how long did it take you to get to the one camp? How many camps are there?
Kilimanjaro is climbable within 5 to 10 days. So you can climb Kilimanjaro 5 days, so 3 days up and 2 days down. You can climb Kilimanjaro 6 days up, 4 days up, 2 days down. You can climb Kilimanjaro 7 days, 8 days, 9 days, 10 days. But you have an advantage when you do in a reasonable amount of time. The lesser the number you do, the less chance you stand to reach the top, because you do not come properly acclimatized when you do in a lesser day. And some of the routes that you do in a less day, they're not very well put you in a very acclimatization process, which means you go high, sleep low, or you go gradually on the same elevation, or you can just go up and then stay in the same elevation, and then just make progress, and that way you become properly acclimatized. So we recommend people to do a minimum of 7 days, if you can. If you cannot, then you can opt for 6 days. So you can do anything from 7 days up to 10 days on the mountain. Yes, sir.
I went to Kilimanjaro in Serengeti just about a year and a half ago. the accommodations, not with you guys, but with another tour. We wanted to see what you guys have to offer. I see the accommodations we had. You said you didn't do the low end, middle end, or high end. I realized we were on the low end. and looking at those accommodations, I was like, I didn't see any of those, but that looks really nice. So my question is, on Kilimanjaro, I see the accommodations you had in the Serengeti. Do you have similar mid to high accommodations on Kilimanjaro for the Moshi route? How does that work?
So what will happen on the Kilimanjaro? You go on a camping trip or camping route, and this is you stay in a tent. Right. There's only one route on Kilimanjaro where you can go and stay in a hut, and that's my least favorite. And that's 5 days. That's it's not an option for me. That's a big no for me. I usually operate from 6 days, 7 days, and above. And what happened? We'll provide a tent for you to sleep. And it's usually a shared tent for 2 people. If you need an extra one, that's for a single supplement. We have an eating tent, a mess tent where everyone will come to have tea, popcorn, snacks, everything will be done there. And we have a kitchen tent for every meal to be prepared from. And we have porter's tent because we have to make sure these guys are treated well, because you're not carrying a duffel bag, which is about 40 pounds, and climb that mountain and get to the top. You need someone to help you with that. And these are the guys that we need to take care for. And they have nice mess tent, couple of them, 1 or 2 depending on the size of the group. So when you have your sleeping tent, what happens with high end, we'll provide you with black foam within your tent, and then you have your mattress on top. So sleeping is comfortable. We'll not provide you with a sleeping bag. You have to bring your own, because with all temperature variation and all other equipment. And we'll provide you water to wash upon arrival at the camp, and this will be washing your face and hands. We'll provide you water to wash your hands before you getting in a mess tent to eat any meal. And there will be a guy standing there with lukewarm water, treated, and wash your hands for you to get in a tent. In the morning, we'll provide you a cup of coffee, cocoa, tea, or any preference of your drink, no beer, no alcohol, before you wake up, and that's before you get to your breakfast. And this is just to get you going in the morning and before you get your breakfast. We are working to get on a very high-end, superior service where we'll provide beds on a tent, and a tent where you can stand on top. But this will be high-end, and we'll try to do very few of those, because we know majority of people, they want to do a little bit stylish of a proper camping, rather than sleeping on a bed, having a shower, having a heater in a tent. But if this is requested, we can provide a heater on all trips, on a mess tent where you sit and eat. We can provide a bed with a proper mattress, and sleeping bag and pillows and towels when you get a shower. We have at least 3 showers on a trip of 7 days when you're in the mountain. So that's kind of an accommodation or style we do when you're out on the mountain. Yes, ma'am.
If you decide to go early, 2 or 3 days before the safari starts, is it fairly safe to stay in a hotel that the safari hasn't picked? Because I know some hotels are rather expensive, and we've gone online and looked, and there are less expensive places. Are they safe to stay in?
Yes, I mean,
like if they're 3-star, that type of
there are so many places that you can stay according to your budget. So, and they all are safe. We always recommend, if anybody want to come at least 2 or 3 days earlier, so that you can get over jet lag. That's far the way better you can do it, and that'll give you a chance that you get more energy. Instead of you arrive at night, in the morning you're in the car, you're out in the bush. It's even for us to come from all the way to Afrak Gate here, and then you're on the highway. You're in the middle. It's right in the middle of the day. Back home, my brain is right in the middle of the night. So it's nice to do probably one day or 2 days earlier. And again, a safari can be cut according to your budget. So if you wanted to come early and you want to stay probably in those cheap hotel, we can also tailor them. Yes.
How big a climbing groups do you take up?
We we take a minimum of 4 people and maximum of 8.
Oh, okay.
So that everyone will be reached properly and taken care and looked after well. Because once you have a group of 10, 12 people, I mean, we can do 10 and 12, but once it's getting there, I mean, there are some people who